Thank you so much for coming, everybody. I just want to make sure I'm not on mute for the Zoom people. Okay.
You're good.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, great. Okay. So thank you everybody for coming. Everyone has a seat. Okay, and we have some extra seats. Good. So as everybody knows, this is hosted by North Shore CASA. And if you're not a member, you absolutely should be. It is not, North Shore CASA is not just about, you know, when you're in the throes of addiction or you're a teenager or you're a college student. The healthy habits start right out of the womb, and you're modeling behaviors for your kids right from the very beginning, and you're teaching your kids values right from the very beginning. So it is not just a high school thing to be part of North Shore CASA. So if you have friends who are interested, especially at the elementary level, middle school's a really rough time. Tell your friends to join, because the only thing that is required if you join is that you get a newsletter once a quarter. That's it. It's no commitment, nothing. So we have a sign up sheet with email addresses, I think, that we are passing around. So yeah. And then there's another sign up sheet. If you wanted my newsletter, which is separate from CASA. It is linked to my Instagram, which is Dr. Jolie Silva, and it's all parenting, mostly mom stuff. Dads can completely do it, but my audience seems to be mostly moms. And it's about work-life balance, parenting, how are we getting through all this? We're all spread so thin. So I do newsletters also. So there maybe be 2 clipboards going around. Okay. I want to plug, we have a pickleball tournament on February 28th at
Saturday, 3 till 6 or 7, 6 or 7.
3 until 6 or 7.
Not cool anymore.
It's not cool anymore.
Not
Yeah. No. Yeah. And we have openings.
Oh, it's so much fun.
It's so much fun.
If you're a pickleball player, if you're not a great pickleball player and you just want to come out and have a really good time, like we really had all levels last year, and there's prizes and there's food that's lovingly donated by Foster's Restaurant, and it's a great day of community and fun and laughs, and it supports our Friday night pickleball that we do for the teens and all of CASA's programming and events, and highly recommend it. Come on out.
Parents or kids?
It's parents.
Oh.
Yeah. There may be a few kids who participate in our Friday night. Actually, I mean, if your kid is playing pickleball, like, and they want to play, my 17-year-old might play, so there's no age restriction, but it's not a children's event. It's an adult tournament. And second place. Yeah. She also played with a professional tennis pro. But she was awesome. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Great plug, Allison.
Thank you.
So you have to go. I've never picked up a racket in my life. You better not be
Called a paddle, but just come. Come.
QR codes to get text SMS.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. And I promise I only have 2 more plugs after this one. We are in CASA, great idea from one of our newest board members, is that we're going to do texts, like updated texts, which I think is an amazing idea, because I currently have 10,000 emails in my inbox.
Yeah.
And so I don't see even important things that have to do with things that I'm very much involved in, because I don't have time, because I work, and that's what my inbox looks like. So Spencer came up with this great idea. Why don't we send text for people who are interested? And I will read a text before I will read an email. So sign up for that. You're not going to get a lot of texts. We're not going to be throwing texts at you. You'll get 1 a month, maybe 2 a month, depending on what we have.
Text where it's like once a week.
Right.
Once a month.
It will not be a lot of text. So sign up.
Reminders of our events.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You have the option to opt in or opt out. So
that's right. And you can opt out at any time.
And those signs on the table, they just scan a QR code or.
Okay.
Fabulous.
Great. And my final plug is our Friday night pickleball for ages, Allison?
It's teens. It's really meant for 7th through high school. But I won't lie, there's a couple of 6th graders that love it and show up. So, but it's really going very well this year. The kids, they don't just have the opportunity to play pickleball, but Gold Coast is a really great facility. And upstairs now they have a ping pong table, they've got video games, there's a lounge. So, if the kids play pickleball for an hour and then they're like, we just want to hang out, with our friends that works too. So if it's a great way to be social, be active, and be with your friends on a Friday night. Come check it out if you have. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Great facility.
Chaperone, so
Yeah.
kids aren't wandering outside or everyone's contained.
We want something to have kids to do besides hang out and get into trouble or wander towards substances. So that's part of our mission too. Okay. So the title of this, I think I memorized it, is Screen Time to Quality Time, how to help build resilient kids in a digital world, right? That is an 8-hour workshop, 5 days. Okay. So I wrote a couple notes. I would like it to be a discussion because I want to make sure that we're addressing the issues that you have. I know the ones that I think are important, but maybe they're not the same ones you think are important. I also want to understand the ages of the parents in here because while again, every age is critical in development, and I think this might be common knowledge now, but if it's not, it should be. The adolescent brain develops until age 26, okay? It's not 18, it's not 16, it's not 21, it's 26. So when you're a young adult, your brain's not fully formed yet, okay? So all of these are really critical developmental periods. How many in here have elementary? I'd like to break it up. Elementary K through 2. Who has elementary K through 2? Okay, good, little ones. Who has elementary 3 to 5? Okay, good, elementary. Who has middle school 6 to 8? And who has high school 9 to 12? Oh, I think, okay, good. So we got a mix. I'll try to cover it all. I'm going to talk really fast. Okay, so we got a lot of developmental periods going on. I want you to think.
Train's coming in.
I want you to just think for a minute, what is one thing you would like to learn or discuss or have some kind of understanding or action plan after this today? And I don't have a magic wand or all the answers, by the way. I just want to put that out there. All I can give is my background and I'm a mom too, right? So what is one thing that you would really want to learn knowing the title of this? Okay. And if you don't mind, you don't have to answer. I would just want to go around the room and understand. If people are totally focused on resilience, then I want to focus on resilience. If you're like, iPads are my worst nightmare, okay, we'll talk about the screen time more. Otherwise, I'm going to just talk a little bit about everything. All right. So give me a sense of you can just kind of, yeah.
The addiction of it.
Addiction.
My daughter is actually breaking through the family. So I monitor it and she knows how to break through.
Addiction. Yeah. And you can be addicted to screens. Yeah.
Restrictions as they get older, take them away.
Yes.
They're going off to college soon, so where do you draw the line?
Yeah, that's hard.
I totally agree, and also the technical aspect of that, like. What resources are good for finding out for iPhones versus Samsung?
Yeah.
How to manually create those limits.
Okay. Yeah.
Is it actually possible to do this if we are all on our cell?
That's good. You speak my language.
But
Alexa,
you know what I
we've talked about it. I know.
I think my biggest concern is social media.
Yeah.
And especially girls, I mean,
Yeah.
not especially, but I think for me, being a young girl on social media, off social media, just how to kind of control that narrative without pigeonholing them or making them feel like, they want to go against that, you
Yeah.
know, it's a hard balance, I think, but social media, I feel like it's
Yep.
the devil.
Yep, I was gonna say the devil, and I will say the devil. I will say that, yeah. Okay, what else, Jess?
It's like Roblox, like text messaging that like all their friends are doing and
I know.
yeah. But
I feel like that's the boy version of the social media.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep, we have gender differences big time, by the way,
They're
with
doing
this.
it social dating.
I know, I know. What else? Yes.
Pheromones and linked. So if you're almost like a lone wolf with this and you're trying to limit and you're trying to support them to not be addicted to Roblox, but then all my friends are doing
I
this,
know.
all my friends are getting an iPhone for their birthday. Yeah.
Yes, I
I'm
know,
sure on that.
I know,
Balancing it.
I know. 100%.
For the older kids, maybe the high schoolers and maybe the late middle schoolers, any educational forums or articles or the kids themselves can read, because when it comes from the parents,
I
right,
know.
they don't do what we say.
I know.
They do kind of what we do. So they mimic us, but at the same time, they mimic their friends and their social settings. But what I see is when it comes from the coaches or some of their teachers that they really look up to, or other people in society that they look up to, they look at that and say, wait, if I can live on that.
Yep.
I am not gonna be on
Yep.
social media, I'm not gonna post. It's this person says it.
Yep.
It's obviously it's not gonna come, most likely not from the parents. I think in settings where they can be exposed, if you do it in the schools or around, a lot happens when you're on their teams.
Teams.
Yeah, coaches.
Yep.
Who have a really good understanding of the bigger picture, not.
Hold on. Yep.
Racing or coaching the bigger top.
Yes.
I also think it's very different for each age, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
For the younger ones, I have young ones. It's really our responsibility there. That's where it's gonna start. So like if you always have your phone in your hand, or you're like subconsciously, you don't realize, but you're like showing your kid, oh, look how funny this is on TikTok, or look at this video, or you have it at the dinner table, like that's where it starts. And also all my friends are doing it. I mean, we all experience that through our lives, like that's our own, insecurities or something bubbling up, or it really is tough love. You have to just kind of, it's easier said than done, but it's like, okay, well, that's good for them. But you explain why it's not good, without going into, well, there's these bad people in there
Yeah.
going to,
Yeah.
but you have to really try to explain that, either in moderation or under. But again, it's gonna be different for each age, I think.
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
Completely.
People inspired.
Completely. So, okay, I'm hearing lots about screens. And there are tons of resources. For parents. Has anyone heard of MAMA, Mothers Against Media Addiction? Don't have a Long Island chapter. I don't have time to do it. I would love to. I would love to do it. You got to look at MAMA, Mothers Against Media Addiction. I'm in contact with them, but there is no Long Island chapter. Okay, so what I'm hearing is we have different situations going on, elementary, middle school, and high school. I'm hearing the almost the voice of the biggest concerns for middle school and high school. And why? Because we all want to be independent humans, right? And that's why toddlers say, I got it. No, mommy, no, right? They want to be independent. And middle schoolers really want to be independent. By high school, they realize, oh, maybe we can do this together sometimes. And so what we don't want is the power struggle and the battle. So we'll talk about that. How do we set limits? They're going off to college. How do we teach them? If it comes from the parents, they're just going to push back. These are all realities. I believe we are at a pivotal point in all of this because our eyes are open. I thought about this. Remember when Mad Men, the show Mad Men was out? I think I might have told some of you guys this before. What was that, 10 years ago?
At least.
Right, okay, fine. So I'm watching Mad Men, but social media and screens were a thing when Mad Men was out. And so the wife with the blonde hair was pregnant and she's sitting in the OBGYN, pregnant, right? And he's like doing an internal and he's got a cigarette with smoke coming out and blowing it. Like and there's smoke in the room. And then she lights up. And I'm looking at this like, wow. And I thought to myself, there are going to be people. What year was that show supposed to take place? 50s?
The 50s.
Okay. There are going to be people that many years ahead saying, we gave our kids these things. Oh my goodness, we don't know. And the Gen Zs are struggling so hard. It is not the parents' fault. But I am really hopeful that for the Gen Alphas, which are like elementary age now, up until like 7th-ish grade, parents' eyes are finally open. The problem is we have this blast go out to 1,000 people, and there are 20 or 30 people here. And I will say it's going to need a community effort. It's going to need an effort on a larger scale because the problems you're identifying cannot be solved in this room today, which is all of my friends are on Snapchat and I'm being left out of everything. What's the solution to that? You could coach your kids on and talk to them about being left out, but that issue is not solved unless the community is saying, we're not doing social media. Yeah. I think talking a little more about home is probably a good use of our time here, right? One of the first questions was addiction. So, the research on this is it's happening so rapidly, right? I go to this conference every November that's about treatment. If I didn't mention, if you don't already know, I am a psychologist and I have a practice called New York Behavioral Health that I co-own with my husband, and we have an office in Roslyn, Rockville Center, and Manhattan. And I'm also a Seacliff mom of 2, an 11-year-old and a 9-year-old. 11-year-old girl, 9-year-old boy, because that matters. So I have been working with kids and families and parents and moms and adults for almost 20 years. I've seen hundreds and hundreds of families, and I am involved in the community, so I see what's going on. And so when we talk about how to make changes in the home, I go to this conference every November about the latest treatments, all the latest treatments, child anxiety treatment, adult depression treatment, anger management, all of these things, irritability, postpartum, all of these things. This was this past November. You know what a lot of the new treatments on? This is new. Social media addiction, failure to launch. Does everyone know what failure to launch is? Right? It's when you have a young adult who's still living at home and has not launched. Failure to launch treatment, screen addiction, social skills, isolation, social media addiction. It's like all this new treatments being developed to kind of undo what has gone on since like the early 2000s. Now, I don't want to be a doom and gloom here. This is not a doom and gloom. We're moving up, we're moving on. Kids are resilient, and so are you. Kids are more resilient than we give them credit for, which is part of the problem, right? I don't think that's my phone. So addiction comes up, okay? And yes, you can be addicted to social media. What is addiction? It is when you don't have the thing, you have this craving that you want the thing. When you don't have the thing, you have almost like withdrawal that you need. If you lost your phone for the day, how does that feel? You have that. You have those feelings, right? Right? Social media addiction, tolerance, you want more and more of it. You scroll, a dopamine. By the way, with those dopamine hits, they addict you the most when they're intermittent, right? So that's the algorithm has got everyone down. And to go to someone else's question, how do we get into our kids' heads? Not by saying, don't go on the screen, because I'm the screen police. And I'm like, I can't with being the screen police anymore. You have to, and this works, but you have to be really tactful when you do it, because middle schoolers are a lot smarter than us. You have to get them to realize that those algorithms are taking advantage of them. Do you see what they're doing to you? Do you see that what she just said is maybe isn't real? That the way she looks isn't real? Do you know that they want you to do that? They're hijacking your brain. Like, in a way, everyone knows their kid, right? There's not a one solution fits all. But what the data is showing, and this is all new, by the way, we don't have all the answers yet because research is just coming out on this stuff, right? But one of the things is, especially with high schoolers and middle schoolers, one of the ways to get in there is to make them see what we're seeing, right? That they are manipulating you. The social media apps are manipulating you. They're manipulating everybody because they understand neuroscience. You know the way these were developed, if you read The Anxious Generation, that they did brain scans to figure out how to addict teenage girls to the apps. They know more about it than we do, and we're victims to it, but we are smarter than that, right? And so getting in there with that, not lecturing. Please don't lecture your kids. Please don't give too much advice to your kids, but almost like we're in this together. We see what's going on here, right? We got this. I don't want my kids on YouTube. I think TikTok and YouTube Shorts are the devil, right? But there are times when my daughter is musical theater and she needs to prep for something, so she's got to watch a clip of the role that someone did on Broadway or whatever it is. Okay, so there are exceptions. And so then I'll look and there's YouTube Short, and she knows no YouTube Shorts left, no YouTube Shorts. And she says, Mom, it's not my fault. I don't mean to go on YouTube Shorts. It takes over my brain and then I'm stuck in YouTube Shorts. I don't know what to do here. I can't watch my Broadway video without it catching my brain and getting me into the YouTube Shorts. It's right. That's 100% what it is. I mean, granted, I've given her some background education before, so she's aware that it's happening. But I think one of the ways to get the buy-in is to teach them that, but not like in a lectury way, okay? You have to just know your kid. Some kids want to learn about it, some want to push back. But that's exactly what's happening, and that the data is showing. That's one of the ways to kind of get in there. But yes, addiction is absolutely what's going on. Our brains are getting addicted. Social media is set up for addiction because that's how they make money. And nothing is being done on it on like a federal or legislative level for a number of different reasons. But did you hear about Australia?
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen here. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it will. I don't want to be pessimistic, but it's not happening anytime soon. They did an age restriction on social media, age 16. Right? Isn't that amazing? I mean, so amazing. So anyway, okay, so how do we stop the addiction? That might have been your question. Was your question, how do we stop the addiction?
Well, not only that, it's my daughter, it's in my grade, she breaks into my family, so I've investigated everything for Android to have it monitor it.
Yeah.
So I'll pull it back, I'll shut it down, she knows how to go.
Yeah. So this is another thing, and I have to be completely transparent. There are speakers who their entire talk is about all that technology, and they hide the apps and how to find the hidden apps and how to set this and how to do that. And that is an area that I wish that I was an expert in, and I'm not an expert in that area, right? There are speakers though. I can't think off the top of my head, but if you sign up for my newsletter, I'll find the names of these people and I can just put it in a newsletter with all of these resources. But there are ways around it. But again, we all are spread so thin already. Now we got to be the technology police on top of everything. And that's why I love Mama, because they are at the legislative level and they're doing like major work, because it is on us, but it's too much. It's too much, and it changes so quickly. I'm not even talking about AI today, right? It changes so quickly. It's impossible for us to stay on top of it. So there needs to be action at a higher level
Can I just ask
Yeah.
for my own clarity?
Yeah.
So is your general feeling like instead of trying, and obviously there's some, age appropriate limits and restrictions and all those things, but that a smarter approach is bringing this all to the child's consciousness
Yeah.
of why this is a problem, almost the same way that we would say, why don't you start vaping? Like the reasons are, right? And there are things that are going to happen and they're going to circumvent and they're going to, but if you educate them as to why it's bad for them, that's kind of half the win, half the battle.
Totally.
Am I reading that right?
Totally.
Okay.
And if we can, collaborative is the way to go. Okay, yes.
I was gonna say that, so recently we like accidentally had a situation like that because you like mentioned something with a friend in front of your Amazon device and it like all of a sudden you're getting ads for it and my in-laws were over and my mother-in-law said, I keep getting ads for this, it's because we were talking about it, my kids were in the room and my daughter was like, what do you mean? And I was like, well, our devices, they listen to us, like the things that we say, and she was like, Mom, that's so creepy. And like, it made her feel like, not that you wanna scare your kids, but it made her feel a certain way, like, it evoked a feeling for her, where she like had questions about it, like it came up a few times, where she was like, are they listening to everything that we say, like, can they see us? And I was like, well, that's kind of how it is, like, everything is integrated into what we're thinking, like, that's why we have to be careful, and it was actually like a good lesson, and had a positive outcome, because she became aware of something she wasn't aware of, but on a macular level,
Yes.
It was
Yes.
like, oh my God, people are listening to me at home, and I'm like, and everything you click on, because I let her scroll through Pinterest. I feel like that for us has been like our same thing. And I say, like, it's just like Pinterest. Like, you click one thing that you like, and Pinterest is going to show you 10 more things like that, right? So it's like, I was like, this is sort of how AI and computers are changing how we think and what we think about. And she was like, it was, and for us, it's like, where did I read life? Or they're like, oh my God, that's so creepy. That's so weird.
Yep. Yeah, right. And so I guess what I'm saying is if you could somehow be more collaborative about it. I know this is not an easy thing to do because you have to set boundaries, you have to set limits, you have to enforce rules. I'm not suggesting that it's a free-for-all in the house. But what I'm saying is to avoid the power struggle, it's best to be collaborative about it and almost, because while I say they're smarter, I think we might actually be a little smarter. Like manipulate them into asking questions about why it's bad. I mean, you know your kid better than anybody else, right? And then you have the discussion about it. Well, I'm going to give you just one example, okay? My daughter watched a video yesterday. I allow her to watch like Taylor Swift kind of things when I am getting knots out of her hair. And so it was Taylor Swift was giving the Grammy to Rihanna. Okay. And when Rihanna came up, she didn't look at Taylor Swift or thank her. And there's like, can you believe Rihanna did that? And then Beyonce won and gave Taylor Swift a kiss and said thank you the following year, something like that. Can you believe Beyonce's so nice? Rihanna's so mean to not, how could she do that to Taylor? I love Beyonce. Beyonce is so nice. Taylor's so nice. Rihanna, like all upset, right? And I said, how do you, and it might have happened, I don't know. I said, you know that the person that created this wants you to not like Rihanna and want like Beyonce, right? What do you mean? I was like, well, the person highlighted a shot of Rihanna going like this. How do you know she didn't give her a big hug before? I mean, maybe she was mean to her, I don't know, but I was trying to make a point. How do you know she didn't give her a big hug after? Maybe she was nervous. How do you know Beyonce didn't trip Taylor on the way up? All I'm saying is, I don't know if I said that, but I should have, but I will later when she gets home from school. How do you know That's the truth. The person who created this video wants you to not like Rihanna and to like Beyonce. And like this light bulb went up. You're right. You're right. And when I watched the other thing about that, you know, who the person who's making it wants me to think these things. I'm like, exactly. Everything you watch on there, every person you see on there wants you to see the way that they're presenting it. And now she's like, you know, a little bit like peeved by it. Like, people aren't going to take advantage of me. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. You kind of like get in there a little bit, but, and that works high school too. I mean, you know, as adults, we know that, but not really. And I want to get back to the addiction, but I want to say something else about girls. Okay. If you read The Anxious Generation, you know, there was this study done. I forget how many participants there were. Girls, forgot the age range, but probably middle school, high school. Okay. And, you know, you're scrolling through and you see like girls in bikinis or whatever, and then you feel like, crap. It hurts too much about your own body, right? Okay. So we all know this. This is like common sense. What they did was, do you remember in the 80s, if you watched a movie, they would like flash like a popcorn and a Coke, like, and they think you didn't see it. Like it's a subliminal, but like I saw it. I was like, was that just the popcorn? Well, they could do it now where they're flashing it so you don't actually know you're seeing it. It's like a micro flash. So you're like not consciously aware you saw something. So they're probably still doing it now with the movies, but now the technology is better, so we don't know we're actually seeing the popcorn. So they did this study where they were having girls scroll, and they rated girls beforehand on, look at these images of these women filtered. Is that real? No, that's a filter. That, you know, I know that's not a real, her skin's not that nice. Like, so all these girls cognitively and logically knew that this isn't real. It's like when they airbrushed the models in the 90s, right? We're beyond airbrushing now. But like, you know, that's not real. Okay. So you can have this awareness. Okay. But they have them scrolling through and they subliminally flash, I don't know, some picture perfect model. Okay. The girls don't know that they saw it. They rate them on body image afterward. A significant plummet, horrible body image for the girls who were subliminally flashed the person in the bikini, because that's how impactful it is on female developing brains. The body image issue is real. And it's a really big problem. So I just wanted to put that there because I think that's like a really, really good study, and it was done well too. Okay. So, yes, addiction, and what do we do about it? Okay, so you could set your limits, you could set your boundaries, you could say no screens this time, no screen that time. You could take your phone away from your teenager, they can get mad at you. You can have no screen, you can make a box, no screens, no screen time in the house for the whole family, right? But at the end of the day, if they have it in their possession and you're not around, they're at risk of being addicted to it. And they'll go around the rules, some of them more than others, right? Depends on how much of a rule follower, how much guilt they have, right? But you have to remember, these are people that their brains aren't developed. We think our kids' brains are like developed, and they're just not. They don't have impulse control.
For like the littler ones who haven't gotten into this yet, is the messaging like, you will be able to make better decisions, or like, I guess for everyone, like, if we all are gonna have to live with social media, which probably are in many,
Yes, correct.
maybe like jobs are gonna, you know, who knows what the landscape's gonna be when they start getting jobs, and people use it for their small businesses.
Yeah.
So it's like, you'll be able to make better decisions about this when you're older. That's why we're like delaying it, like kind of like alcohol, where it's like, this is not for young people, this is for adults.
Yes. What I will say is this. I
So
think,
hopefully you'll never use it, but like, if you have to,
yeah, that it will be good.
you'll be able to have good.
Things like Instagram, TikTok, they don't use Facebook. They think it's for old people. Instagram, right? what I find, and this is anecdotal, by the way, Snapchat is the problem. Because Instagram, okay, you can like say no to Instagram, they'll survive. They'll survive no matter what. Facebook, they don't care. TikTok, they'll survive. They'll survive. Snapchat is the problem. Because they want, what's the number one thing that tweens and teens care about?
Belonging.
Pure belonging. Don't care about you. I'm exaggerating. You're low on the list. Family's low. Number one. It has to do with so much, right? Feeling left out, rejected, anxious, depressed, isolation. It's everything. What is Snapchat? A way you belong. Parents say, I don't know what to do. Right. Of course you don't know what to do. Nobody knows what to do. The friends are using Snapchat. My daughter is not using Snapchat. My son is not using Snapchat. They're left out. You have a decision to make. I don't have all the answers for you. Your decisions are, number one, you give in to Mark Zuckerberg and all of those money hungry people, and you let them do Snapchat because you want them to belong. There's nothing wrong with that. You want your kid to fit in, you want them to belong. You know what the problem is with Snapchat? It's not just the texting. It's that they can see where the groups are and if they're left out. Come on. Like, okay, if you want to have a texting app, why can't you have like a tween version where they're just, and group chats are another thing, by the way. I'm not endorsing group chats by any sense, but it's like, can't you just completely turn off certain parts of it? So I think Snapchat is where parents start giving in because they don't want their kid to be left out. So number one, you give in and then they're doing it. Number two, you say, I'm holding my ground, you're not doing it. They're complaining to you, my friend's this, my friend's that, my friend's this, and you're saying, it's bad for you, I'm not giving in. And you sit with discomfort and they sit with discomfort. And if you give it to them, you sit with discomfort and they sit with discomfort because they're going to have FOMO and be left out. And this is what we're dealing with.
Having your child in these peak belonging years be left out, is that more psychologically damaging than Snapchat? Because then it's not, then there is actually like an answer to this puzzle, right? If we have the research that said, oh,
That's right.
Your kid is so left out because they're not on Snapchat that, I don't know, they're doing something else, but like, I don't, from my understanding, like, I don't think that are there other ways that they can belong being left out in one situation?
Can you belong and not be?
Why don't some of the parents here who don't let their kids, Shalini?
I have a 8th grader and a 6th grader, and they don't have phones. They don't have any social media. They don't have iPads. I'm going to let them to do this stuff. But I would say like 99% of their friends.
Yeah.
But I'm okay being bad cop, and I feel like the benefits outweigh, you know, the effects of like being on social media. And I feel like as long as they're open to talking to us as parents, and we have a good relationship with them, if you have the TV radio, it's not being told, and they're saying, you know, and she obviously has got friends walking by, and she's like texted them together watch, like, you hang out, and they don't, because they're all on Snapchat making plans. So she does feel left out. It does suck, but I'm okay with it.
But is there research on that shows that like the belonging that they don't get is actually okay? Because like I mean, I grew up with AIM. I remember when like people would have group things on AIM and I was left out sometimes, I wasn't sometimes, and you know, I dealt with it. Is it, I mean, there has to be research about,
There's no data on
there's no data on
not that I'm aware of.
Snapchat.
Snapchat.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't give my girls phones until eighth grade, and they had no social media until they got to high school, and I just gave my 9th graders Snapchat recently, because all their team sports.
How did it impact them, Renee?
Yeah, how did that be? But it really is, it really is.
What? Now I'm like, I don't think I.
And it's not just, yes.
I just think not, like,
Well, it's not the school, school uses Teen Snap.
Yeah.
Which is fine, that's the
Yeah.
different. You Snapchat as a team members, and if you're on a travel team, it's Snapchat, so.
just to like chat.
just to chat, plan
But I
things,
feel
so
like
that,
it's
so.
conscious because control.
So
The coaches can say
yes,
we're not.
that's another issue in itself, and mine were, my younger ones did not have social media, but they were on a travel field hockey team, and they were like, Mom, these girls are all over the place, you don't know what's going on, and I'm like, well, friend has Snapchat, like, and your mom.
Yeah, that's, I mean, my gut is like, mix it. You're gonna
I think for parents, you know, that friend couldn't do whatever.
Right.
For that.
What
And if you talk to other parents, they're all in the same boat. It's
Right,
the kids.
Yeah.
My kids just did it to me. They're like, Mom, we wanna go into the city, and I'm like, you're 16, I don't know about this, we wanna go to the Met, like, tickets to the Met, can we go to the Met? And I'm like, you go straight there, and you come straight, and they're like, Mom, you're so strict, you're this, you're that, so I'm like, you know what? Go ahead, you've been in the city before, you know how to navigate it, blah, 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 whatever, go ahead. I just got 4 texts from all the other parents, are you guys letting your kids go? To them, I was the only parent not letting them. To all the other parents, we were all like, we don't know if we want to do it. So they all wind up being fine, I promise you.
Right, no, I don't care if my kids is.
Yeah, I think also with Snapchat, you're open up to a lot of bullying.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just think that, I think what you had said is you get to make the choice, but I think that at a certain point, we have to say like, there actually isn't. Like there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you could say that to your kid.
I just feel like not belonging is not enough. Right, and it's not true. It's like they're.
Yes, Alexa?
Oh, I
Sent it to the school, they tell
I have a 20-year-old stepson, he's a sophomore in college, and he definitely had a hard time. It was a little different, there was Snapchat, but he was bullied a little bit, middle school especially. And I'm here to say that he is a fully functioning, amazing. It never comes up, he has made his own friends, so I do think that like, it's really hard to see long term. I mean, it's possible for us to see long term when he was being bullied in middle school, but the reality
Not
is
because
that.
of technology.
Not because of technology, but I'm saying like, with technology, if this is the new version of bullying, I'm here to tell you that like, your kids are resilient and are gonna find their place in the world, no matter what.
Well, Alexa, here's the problem. They are, but even though parents say that their kids are resilient, they don't really believe it. And they,
You get a speaker like Jonathan, right?
I think he's 30,000.
Go to the pickleball fundraiser and we'll get it. But you always make the point also, which I think is so important, is like as parents, there's such a gut check for us as well, which is, I want my kid to belong, I want my kid to belong, like, and that and you said it, you're like, we have to sit in the uncomfortability, and I think that is as impactful as everything. It's like, it's a gut check for all of us to say,
Yeah,
am I
totally.
resilient enough?
That's right.
You know, and
So that's
Like,
exactly
you say
it.
no to your kid about Snapchat, I'm just saying, if Snapchat's a no for you, you're just like, I can deal with the fact that you don't belong in this situation. Like.
Well, what is it? So this is where resilience comes in, okay? Because what is the number one thing that controls how someone is parenting in any given situation? Number one, it is the parent. It's not childhood trauma. It's not your parents. It's not the people you saw on Instagram. It's not the books you read. It's not all these things you think it might be. It is the parent's emotion in that moment. Okay. So when you say, okay, your child is left out because the friends are on Snapchat, you have to ask yourself, what is that bringing up for me? For some parents, it might not bring up much at all. For some parents, maybe they were left out when they were younger, and it brings up a lot about rejection, about being left out, about being bullied. Some other parents might be like, well, you're left out, right? It's not every parent. It doesn't feel good by any stretch to see your kid not included in something. That doesn't feel good, because evolutionarily, why we're even here as a species is because we exist as a group. right? That's why loneliness and isolation and depression all go hand in hand. If you're lonely and you're isolated, you're depressed, usually, right? Unless there's one tiny group of people who they're actually happier that way. I think I'm turning into one of them. But what does it bring up for you, right? And then what are you going to do with that emotion? Are you going to say, oh, I can't deal with this emotion. If I'm feeling it, then he must be feeling it. We can't have him feel it. That is the problem. If you believe your kid can't handle something that's uncomfortable, they won't be able to. And that's why we have a generation of failure to launch treatment, because they have to be uncomfortable. But for some reason, we have a generation of parents who don't want to be uncomfortable, watching their kids be uncomfortable. Do you know that in this year, in the 2020s, okay, after COVID, working moms spend almost double the amount of time with their kids than stay-at-home moms in 1975. Why? Why? We're hovering. It's too much. They don't need us. They don't want us this much. We're exhausted. We try to make everything comfortable, right? Well, what has to happen is we need to sit back, feel uncomfortable, learn how to cope with it ourselves, and then they will learn how to cope with it themselves. Do you understand? So yeah, if a parent decides, I'm not giving you Snapchat, and then you're left out, every parent will have a different emotion or a spectrum of emotion when it comes to that, right? Okay, and then what are you gonna do about it? I'll tell you what not to do. Don't put it on your kid. Don't change your mind because you feel bad. If you make a decision to give them Snapchat, it should be a thought out, logical decision, not because you have a knot in your stomach and you want the knot to go away, right? Same thing with if you decide to give them Snapchat and now they see their friends going out without them.
Yeah.
They're left out there too. It's just magnified now because everybody knows they're left out, right? That doesn't feel good either. And what are you going to do with that? Then you're going to say, no more Snapchat for you. No, right? So it's about parents being aware of their emotion in any given decision, any given challenge, and then saying, where is this coming from? Why do I have this? Why do I feel shame? Why do I feel guilt? Why do I feel so irritable and angry, right? Why am I so anxious? Why is everyone so anxious about their kids? They are resilient children. And if you communicate to them verbally or non-verbally that they need you that much, they will believe they need you that much. And they will be 20 and believe they need you that much. You don't need to be available 24/7. They will be okay. Think about hundreds and hundreds of years ago, right? Kids turn out okay. So I just want a study that was done in 2017, though it was pre-COVID, but it was huge. They did all of these apps, because we're talking about Snapchat. I just want to throw it out there before we do more questions. And TikTok wasn't around yet, but they had all these kids, the ages were 14 to 24, rate all these different apps, Twitter, I'm not going to do Twitter or Facebook because they don't really use those, but Instagram and Snapchat on positive and negative things, because there is some positivity in some of this, by the way. Okay. They're not all bad. The apps are not all bad. You can be creative. There are things that you can do. It's not doom and gloom situation. But for Snapchat, it's interesting because Snapchat and Instagram had the same, what kids aged 14 to 24 think were the absolute worst, most negative thing about those apps. And it turned out those two were the same. There are two top ones. What do you think is the number one thing they thought was the most detrimental for them? I don't know if you're going to get it. For using Snapchat and using
Instant gratification like that, like.
No.
Feeling left out?
No, sleep,
Oh.
which you know is one of my favorite topics. Sleep. And by the way, I don't even treat people anymore unless I get their sleep put together. You come in, you have anxiety and depression. I say, how are you sleeping? Are you exercising? All this new data is coming out on exercise, by the way. there are some people who now believe, don't even bother with any kind of treatment unless you're exercising for depression, okay? And how are you eating? If you're not getting your sleep in order, I'm not talking about anxiety with you, okay? Sleep is absolutely one of the most important things for these growing brains, especially, okay? So it's hijacking their sleep, it's taking their sleep away. You know what the second thing was? It's really bad. It doesn't sound really bad, but it is really bad. It's FOMO. So sleep and FOMO, two of the worst for Instagram and Snapchat. And then, of course, the third was bullying for both, body image for both, anxiety, depression. Instagram had loneliness. Snapchat did not have loneliness. Interesting. But let's talk about some of the positive things for those two apps. You know what number one positive thing is for those two apps, according to all these kids? Very, very positive. Just as positive as sleep was negative. Self-expression. Okay. And for Instagram and Snapchat, self-identity. Those are good. Those are good things, right? And emotional support was the third. Okay. These, you know, this is what they're seeking. When you're at that age too, you want to express yourself, don't you? This is how you're getting yourself out there in the way you want to be seen too, because you could put whatever you want on there, filter it, change it, and you're expressing yourself the way you want to express yourself. So the other positive thing that actually Snapchat got that Instagram did not was community building. So, you know, these are the things that kids are saying.
So I think about getting likes, we did hear about that.
Oh, 100%. That's part of the dopamine. That's part of the dopamine hijacking. If you want a trick to stop some of the addiction for the dopamine hacking, you turn off the like feature.
See, like,
You turn off the like feature. Yeah. That hacks the dopamine a little bit. Amy, you gonna say something? You had your hand up before.
I'm curious if, so I have a third and a first grader. My third grader probably has really so much. Like it's just in hard.
Yeah, they do. They get third grade, I think, is one of the roughest.
So like I would love if there are studies on like scientific proven methods of just building self-confidence. Cause I feel like with that comes the ability for them to be able to say no to certain things or to not feel something.
It would be cognitive behavioral therapy. Yeah, because what cognitive behavioral therapy does is ask in an age appropriate way, what does it mean to you that you're being left out? What does it mean to you about yourself? And what does it mean to you about yourself? And really with adults and kids who can understand it or older, does that mean anything about then your self-worth? Right? If you're missing out on something, what does it mean about you to you? What does it mean about other people? What does it mean about the world? But obviously age appropriate. And then you go, you know, another thing CBT does well is it goes to the worst case scenario. What's the worst thing that can happen? I miss out on the party. It's not just, okay, you miss out on the party, but it's, can you tolerate that? That's the thing. Can you tolerate the worst case scenario? Because people don't believe they can tolerate, and they can, and kids can, and adults can. So it would be like a cognitive behavioral strategy to work on the beliefs associated with being left out. Because not everybody cares about being left out as much because they might have the belief of, okay, well, I'm not left out of that because they don't like me. I'm left out of that because they want to hang out, because sometimes I want to hang out with this bestie without that bestie. Sometimes I want to hang out with this bestie without that bestie. It doesn't mean they don't like me. It means they want to hang out without me. And it doesn't mean anything about me or my self-worth or how much they love me. Right? So it changes the way people think about FOMO. Not everyone has FOMO to the same degree. Some people don't really care if they're not included because they're like, well, that sucks for them. They don't get my presents or whatever, right? But they have to change the way they think about it. But I have found that 8-9-year-old is like this really critical year in especially with girls in the inclusivity the identity formation in that I am trying to not be a baby anymore, but I'm still a baby, sort of. I'm not a tween, not a baby, but I want people to know who I am, trying to figure out who I am, and what that FOMO piece, that like, who's talking about you, am I talking about? Third grade is a really can be a rough year for girls. And they get through it. They get through it. The key is don't solve their problems for them. Right? Mom, this one left me out. Well, then don't talk to her. I'm not saying you do that even, but like, well, then talk to the other one. Hang out with her. She's so much nicer. Or like, what are you going to say to her? Why don't you say this? Why don't you say that? Why don't you say this? Why don't you say that? Stop. Stop telling them what to say. Let them decide what to say. Well, why don't you do this? Are you going to say that? Well, why don't you say it this way? No, that's not how they learn how to navigate these things.
So what do you say? It's like, huh?
No, you say, that sounds, yeah, I do say, huh? I do say, huh? I go, I'm sorry, and it sounds so hard. So what do you want to do about that? I don't know. Well, what are your options? So you keep asking, don't give any options. Just keep your mouth shut. Unless they really can't think of something, all right? I'm not saying torture the kids, all right? But if they really can't think of some things, right? They got like, I don't know. It's just, first you got to let them calm down, because if they're up here, they're not going to have any solutions. So you wait for them to be calm. Don't solve problems when you're escalated. And you calm down, and then let me throw one out there. Why don't you punch that bee in the face? Don't say that. Why not?
Dr. Julie said.
Whip her hair. No. What if you did this? You come up with one now, right? Great. You come up with another one. You just like this is like a tactic to pull it out of them. And then they're gonna pick one that you think is the bad idea. You're gonna be like, oh God, she picked that one. That's like the worst thing she could do. Why don't you try that? I'm gonna sit there. Try that one. That's a good idea. Try that one. Let me know how that goes tomorrow. And you sit there and you keep your mouth shut. Okay, and there's always a caveat if bullying is involved. It's a different situation, like a major bullying situation, right? Then you gotta get a little more involved. But yeah, they have to figure it out. And it could be a rough year. Fourth could be any year could be a rough year. Yeah.
Maybe this isn't the right thing to do then, from what you said, but I tend to, I'll say to my third grader, what do you want? Do you want to listen? Do you want any advice? And I let her, then usually for that, I just want you to listen, I'm okay.
Yes.
And then I do what you say.
Yes.
I say, what are your ideas, this and this. And then I'm like, do you want any ideas about what I might do if it was me? And she'll go, sometimes she'll say no, I'm like, fine. And sometimes she'll say yes. And I'll give it, and it's fine if she does that, I'll just do it. But sometimes she will say, oh, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll try that tomorrow. And then again, you know, yeah, how did it go? Oh, that worked actually, that's great. And sometimes it's her ideas, but not like going in with, you should do this.
I like that, because you're not saying do this, do this, do this, but I would still not give any of my ideas or offer them. Because then she'll be in college and she'll be calling you all day. What would you do again? What would you do again? What would you do again?
My mother-in-law calls that the 3 H's. Do you want to be helped, heard, or hugged?
I like that.
I actually like love that. I on a yoga studio, I talk about that with my students too. Like, because as soon as your child or anyone, a friend, comes up to you with a problem, you need to establish that right away. Do you want me to help you? Do you want my sympathy? Do you want a hug? Or do you just want to let it out, be heard? And I feel like that really is, that's a good, I feel like that works so well, because it also brings them to a point where they're like, oh, like, let me think about it, you know? And I find that with my kids, like, the answer changes, like, it really depends on the situation, and that, I think that's a good approach without giving your own opinions.
Yeah.
If they do want help. I also sometimes, if they want help, I'll be like how you said, well, you punch them in the face. Like, sometimes you give them like an extreme on one end and an extreme on the other, and then help them find something themselves that's sort of in between.
That's good. That's good.
Can I ask just briefly, as the mom of 3 sons, and you know, I don't expect you to deal with a 21, you know, like we're in younger ages, but what do you see? I mean, we know some of the things that are happening with the girls and self-esteem and worth and FOMO and belonging and all of that stuff. What do you see the most with the boys?
The boys, and I'm not saying it's worse for the girls. The boys is different.
Yeah.
It's isolation, it's
Mhm.
depression, it's loneliness, it's porn addiction.
Porn addiction.
Porn
What
addiction,
about violence?
porn addiction.
Like, are
I
we-
don't see it as, I don't
Yeah,
know the data
okay.
on that. And guys, the porn thing is so real. The porn thing is so real. The porn thing and now with AI, guys are dating is down, restaurants are down, sex is down, intimacy is down. Guys are in their rooms having online chat girlfriends, and it's just what's happening. For boys, it's not any better than girls, but boys express it differently. They curl inward. They're not as out, right? In some ways, I don't want to generalize, but in some ways, I think raising a boy is harder because they're not as expressive as girls. At least with girls, you know what you're getting. I mean, it might be a nightmare, but at least you know what you're getting a lot of the time, right? With boys, they tend to hold in and curl inward, and you don't know, and you could try to pull, and that doesn't help. That's why if there's, I mean, not to get totally down, but if there's an expression of suicide by a boy, you'd take it a little differently than there's expression of suicide by a girl. They're both serious. But girls will tend to express a lot of feelings a lot of the time, right? And boys don't. And so they curl inward. You don't know what's going on with them. There's a lot of depression, loneliness, isolation, and lack of social connection. So yeah. And then the video games in and of themselves aren't bad, but what are they competing with? What could they be doing instead? If you're doing 4 hours of video games, what are you not doing, right? And then, you know, well, they're socializing, they have their headset on, they're talking, that's fine. I'm not saying, I mean, obviously you don't want a little one to be seen by a predator in any way, or that's a separate situation. But I'm saying video games are okay, but not if they're taking over the life, because video game addiction, I see a lot. Oh, I see it so much. Video game addiction, phone addiction, they can't get things done, they can't stay focused, and they're isolated and they don't have as many friends as they want for boys. That's what I see.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not phone addiction. So I totally get that with social media. But then, like when I was younger, my kids love music, and my eldest one loves audiobooks. And I'm very happy with her listening to an audiobook.
Yeah.
It calms her down,
Yeah.
following the story. Obviously, she reads real book as well. But then, but we got like Walkmans and like
Yeah.
and an iPod.
Yeah.
Now the old ones. I tried to do it and you can't update it enough, so they don't make.
They should make those again.
They should have it.
Because kids want to listen to music,
Yeah.
and they have to put on an iPad to listen to music.
I saw this on Alexa, but it's out loud, it's fine.
No, they want it on the ear
The only
sometimes.
way they can do it is on phones, and you try to stop giving them phones.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Speaker.
They need their headset.
They have like, those devices that really only have music. They all.
What are they?
It's a record player.
So you can get on the fires, but they change names and something recently. All like a knockoff one, it's like the best thing ever.
Oh, see, I would love that. I mean, these are things like if people in the community started doing it and kids started doing it, people will start doing it.
On devices, but they like my son that listens to music.
Because
So these things-
they want to listen to music sometimes and they can't without being hijacked.
So they can't push it back. There's a not campfire, so also you.
I like that. Okay, we're almost, hold on. I don't want to ignore my Zoom people. I have just a couple of things on here. Let me just see what they're saying. Let me put on my,
So, yeah, just about keeping phones
oh,
out of people's hands.
guys, this is a great
about
one,
that.
by the way. It's from Michelle Singer. We're doing landlines. We're doing a landline push if anyone's interested. I have a landline, but I don't even know where it's connected in my wall.
Blackhead, our girl for Christmas, for Hanukkah, Tin Can, Tin Can, I think the company.
Okay.
it connects to your Wi-Fi, so you don't need a landline. I don't need a
Oh.
landline. And, you could pay for a service, which allows you to make calls to actual phones.
What?
Or you can do the free service, which allows you to call like from Tin Can to Tin Can and 911.
Oh.
So I'm paying like
Great.
$4.99 a month.
I like that.
For phone to be used, so they can call me, like you program the numbers that they're allowed to call, and you program numbers in there that can call them, so they're not calling random people are calling them. And like I said, you could put both, and it's great, it's really fun, and like, it rings and they're so excited to answer it. My friend, or like, my stepson will call it and she's so excited to talk to her brother and like,
I like
it's
that.
actually really cute, and because there were like 6 of us that got it,
Mhm.
it's, they're all calling
Community.
each other, and so, and there's like 2 or 3 more people that were like, oh my god, wait, I wasn't on that text, I wanna get it, and so like now a lot of other people are getting it, and it's cute, I like let it be in my daughter's room, even, like, she's on.
I like that.
You can set like a time, like a time for it to be off, like it's off from, I think, 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. I like left it on in the morning in case Shimmer wanted to like, I don't know, sometimes just like, do we need this today, or, I mean, that hasn't happened, but I thought maybe.
That's good, especially for the little ones.
Tin Can, it's called, like, sort of.
Kids can have a phone, but they must use it in the kitchen. Kitchen phone theory.
They can't bring
It's
this to
really
the
cute, and
bedroom.
it's color, and all you need is my. But you can really control, so that's why I like it.
They all go back, really back.
Also, I feel.
Oh,
like
really?
Yeah.
For a while, my.
Really?
it's sort of
Business
like-
idea.
Huh?
Business idea.
Imagining that they were-
And can too. Michelle Singer also said, I haven't heard this. Look up the kitchen phone theory.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great compromise. Kids can have the phone, but they must be used and left only in the kitchen. They can't take it to their rooms.
Love that.
And then when they eventually leave the house, like you're with all the
Yeah,
observation of what.
that's the issue. That's the issue when they leave the house.
It's been a minute for me, but are kids still mostly getting their iPhones in graduation from elementary school? Is that what everybody's seeing still, or is
So-
it getting pushed? It is getting pushed.
It's getting pushed.
Good.
Well, so I heard from Suzanne Cohen
Yeah.
that the 6th grade middle school counselors said this 6th grade is the lowest phones they've ever seen.
Wow.
And the most like innocent and sweet class they've ever seen. 6th.
Yep.
I hope 5th is like that.
Oh,
The incoming, but I'm going to send out a text to all 5th grade parents to see if everybody will wait and see if they'll do it.
Just jumping in on that, I have a 6th grader and there are quite a few kids, including mine, who have not gotten a phone yet.
Yeah.
And it seems
Yeah.
to be really taking
Yeah.
traction.
That's
And
what they
there's
said.
A lot of households who during hangouts or play dates, I think the transition to saying hangouts, play dates not cool anymore.
yeah.
But now they have clear restrictions in the household where children are not allowed to be on devices if they're at someone else's house, and that has really picked up.
Oh,
And
that's
really-
good.
It's like a
That's
really
good.
reasonable-
That's one of the biggest problems.
Big land, she had a.
My daughter doesn't care at all.
That's fantastic.
People's eyes are opening.
But
Fantastic.
Their eyes are opening.
no,
The app, watch, you don't need to have folks.
No, you don't.
Just watch, and so they
Yeah.
social media, like.
yeah, that's.
Hey, and my daughter has a watch. She walks all over town. If she wants to call me, she has a
And
watch.
it's a good alternative, because like for me as a parent, like I obviously, I don't love screen time, but like I also like don't ever want my daughter to be in a situation where she can't call me. So, and my stepson, my husband's divorced, so he had a phone when he was really young, because it was easier than them calling each other for him to talk to them.
Yeah.
And he never abused it either, so like I also feel, I feel a certain way about phones. I want my kids to feel safe, and I think growing up, we didn't have phones, but we also had, like, I could walk into any establishment and ask to call. Like, if you needed to make a call right now, Campground doesn't have a phone. You know what I mean? Like, so it's not really the same thing
Right.
from a safety standard, in my opinion, to not be able to make a phone call. But I feel like the watch is the perfect alternative to a phone.
I was gonna push for flip phones, but I mentioned it to my daughter yesterday casually and she goes, I'm not doing that.
They'd rather not have a
Yeah,
phone.
I'm
than
not
have
doing
that,
that.
yeah.
What is that?
Watch is like great. I feel like
Just Apple Watch for me,
Yeah.
you can't like get onto the internet.
Shouldn't do the app.
No,
No,
you
you
can't
can't do it. You
Yeah.
can't see, you can't,
That's fun.
yeah.
It's good, it's just,
Unfortunately, it's me.
She uses it to text me when she's walking around town. Tell me where she is. That's it. But you can't, it's not, this is not where people are getting addicted to Instagram.
It's too annoying.
No, no.
I think you can on the watch if it's linked to your phone. If your phone is linked to your watch, you can go on social apps on your phone. But then if your child's phone, if the child's just got a watch and not a phone.
But you're getting the kid a watch without a phone.
So exactly, so they won't have it on their phone,
Yeah.
on their watch, yeah.
And
A feed? Do you scroll through like other people's photos? Like on
Yeah.
Instagram? Yeah, you open it up and you're scrolling through your friend's photos. And then you don't know where it is.
And then it goes away.
but they can screenshot it on the
Yeah.
other side.
There's also.
Texting, they're texting. They're messaging, yeah.
Why don't we shut down the official? And
Okay.
people can stay and chat and talk and, you know.
Okay, Zoom, we're closing out. Thank you so much. If anyone has, thank you.
and then.
Okay.